Hello everybody, this is Faith Lynch with Dear Sports. Welcome back. I'm so excited to be back in the studio today. We have a very special guest, Finn Bass. Finn Bass has a career high ranking of number 3 in the nations in doubles, and then was ranked number 23 in singles. This past season, he was an ITA All-American and was named to the All Big 12 First Team Doubles, Big 12 All-Tournament Team, and the Big 12 Commissioner's Honor Roll 3 times, and was placed in the Academic All Big 12 Team. Just insane. Finn, thanks for coming today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Okay, how's being at Baylor? How's your time been?
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. This is my 4th year or 5th year, my last semester here, so I really can't believe it's coming to an end. Really trying to, take it day by day and enjoy my, last couple months here.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you are from the UK, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about your journey of how you got to Baylor.
Yeah, that's a great question. So when colleges and coaches recruit with tennis, they just go internationally. They look at the international rankings, see what players they can bring in and recruit from across the world. So that's kind of how it goes. They go to some of the best international tournaments and recruit that way. So that's kind of what happened to me. And then they kind of either see you or speak to you at a tournament or message you on Facebook or something. And that's kind of the starting process. And it kind of goes on from there.
Okay, and you didn't finish high school, or you went and did school separately? I know because tennis is kind of different, right? Yeah,
so I kind of left being at school at the age of 13, went full-time with tennis, joined an academy, but I still continued doing all my high school. I just had private tutors.
Okay.
So I still did all the same stuff, but just I wasn't at school.
Right. That sounds nice. If I could have done that for volleyball, that would have been amazing, just to kind of hang out. Because, kind of get to a certain point where it's okay, this is what I want to do. I'm good at it. Yeah. So, let's just, really focus on it. So that's such a, cool opportunity. And so how has been coming from the UK to Waco, Texas? I feel of all places, it's a big culture shock.
Yeah, I get that question a lot. I think at the start it was a big culture shock, especially because I was coming from London, so obviously a very big major city, a lot of people, and then Waco, where it's a lot more quiet. Yeah. And obviously, culturally it's very different. But I adjusted really quickly, and the people here are so nice. So it makes kind of that adjustment really easy.
Mm-hmm. That's nice that you kind of get to do that with teammates as well, right? So who did you feel you were able to lean on during that transition?
So I came into Baylor spring of 2019.
Okay.
And so did Adrian Boitan the same time. So we became really close because we joined Baylor at exactly the same time. So that was really nice to have someone come in with me during the spring, because obviously that's not normal.
Yeah.
Most athletes or students come during the fall. Mm-hmm. And when you join in the spring, that is our team season. So it's kind of really busy from the get-go. Unfortunately, I wasn't eligible, but so I had a bit more time kind of adjusting because I couldn't compete for the team. But even still, the team were always gone and doing something. So I was still really busy. So yeah, it's not easy when you're a freshman coming in during the spring.
Yeah, I did the same thing, came in spring, and it's a big trend in volleyball now just to graduate high school early and come in. But I think you're so right in saying, you think it's going to be so great because it's okay, I'm going to do this and, I'll get, adjusted. But for you, you're coming in season expecting to play and then not playing. That's got to be, a mental battle to, get through that with teammates, and it's a big transition.
Yeah, for sure.
So you came in 2019 and then COVID. How did that adjust your training? I know the sports world just kind of stopped, but how do you feel it really personally impacted you?
Yeah, that was tough. So like I said, that first year I had 2 semesters where I couldn't play for the team, so that was difficult. And then obviously we started the 2020 season, And so I became eligible spring of 2020, and I was playing for the team. Everything was going well. And yeah, obviously then COVID hit mid-February. I think that was when the season was shut down, maybe late Feb. And that was difficult because not only for me, but our seniors, they had no idea if they were going to play college tennis again, if they would get a year back, if that was the end of the road for them. So I remember they were really, really upset and sad because they just had no idea what was going to happen. So at least for me, like, I knew it wasn't the end of the road. I had a few more years left, but you know, with not being able to play the year previously, I basically had 2 years of, you know, not playing tennis. So that was really tough. And we all ended up going back home to our home countries, and we were all there for like 4 months, which was nice. It was a great time for me. I was able to spend a lot of time with my parents, which is great. Obviously, don't get to see them too much. So that was really nice, but it definitely was a weird year. And training-wise, you know, with all the lockdowns across all different countries, you really weren't allowed to do a lot.
Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like I was in high school when that happened, and so we had a foreign exchange student that I was friends with, and so she immediately had to go back, and I just was like, wow, like, it just happened so fast. Did you feel like you like missed Waco because you kind of like maybe gotten adjusted, or were you like, I'm so ready to get back home, like I want to go back and stay there forever?
I think, well, I certainly missed Waco.
Yeah.
And I think everyone probably would have the same answer because you miss your friends, your teammates, coaches. It's a very different dynamic when you're at home. But then also on the flip side, that's the most time I spent with my parents probably since I was 13.
Yeah.
So it was really nice. It did have its benefits. But again, I'm not at school and not around the people that are, you know, really close to me, and, you know, not able to kind of play tennis that much. So it was difficult.
Yeah, for sure. So a couple weeks ago, we were able to speak on a student-athlete panel to professors, just kind of about the student-athlete experience. It was such a cool, like, way that we were able to, like, use our voices, and it was just nice to see that, like, professors and, like, Baylor wants to be able to help the student-athlete experience, like, be better and just a smoother transition. Something that you said that has really stuck with me was, a lot of the times when we are doing assignments and when we are doing actual schoolwork, we're doing it at halfway fatigued. And so I think that's just like so true. So could you speak more on that and like maybe some things that you said in the panel, or like, did you like it? Did you not?
Yeah. So first of all, that was a great experience. I'm really glad we got to do that. I think we had about 30 professors join us in person and virtually. And one of the best things about Baylor is I feel like the whole community, teachers, whatever department you're in, they care for every student. They care for every student athlete. So you really do feel kind of appreciated. And it was nice for them to listen to what we had to say, and listen to ways that we feel maybe they could help us better, and how you know, we can do things better on our side of things for them. But you're right, you know, part of being a student athlete, it's, you know, schedules are crazy. We're training a lot. There's not enough hours in the day. You hear that one a lot. So yeah, doing papers, assignments, exams, you're doing all this work, you know, after long, exhausting days. And, you know, we're trying to be the best we can be, you know, in our sports, academically, and, you know, as people. So yeah, it does become really hard to kind of find that inner motivation to do really well on assignments. You know, you can just get by and complete them. Yeah. But if you really want to kind of push yourself and do well, it does take that extra kind of bit out of you. But, you know, when you see the good grades and you do well in your sport, off the court, you know, it's very satisfying.
Yeah. I think it was really cool. I like just being able to like candidly speak with professors about it, and they were just so willing to like want to help. Like, what truly can we do to like make your experience better? And I think something that I said, I was like, I love when I walk into like a class after like a big game or after like a great showing, and people are like, oh, like congrats, like y'all did so great. And I'm like, oh, thank you, like you're paying attention to like something that like I care about. So it was super fun. And then to like be able to hang out with you, and then to meet Josh White was also on the panel, and like that was really cool, just like different perspectives and different stages of life. So I thought it was really fun.
Yeah,
It'll be posted somewhere, but I don't know where, so people can try to find it. You're also a part of SAC, correct?
Yep.
Can you just kind of speak on what that is and then how you're able to like contribute to that and use your voice as an athlete?
Yeah, so SAC stands for the Student Athlete Advisory Committee.
Okay.
So think of it as basically a student athlete governing body. So each sport nominates 2 to 4 representatives, depends how big their team is. And, you know, we all come together every other week as a general body, and we are kind of, you know, the voice for the school, voice for the athletes. And then there's also an executive board behind that, and we work closely with administrators in athletics, and we meet once a week in between those general body meetings to, you know, work on the agenda, talk about anything related to the student athlete experience at Baylor and how we can improve it. But yeah, the main thing is just being a voice for all of us, both at Baylor and in the Big 12 conference as well, and on a D1 level. So yeah, it's something that's really important. I've been part of it, I think, since my second semester here.
Oh, wow.
So a long time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've been part of multiple committees, and yeah, luckily this year I got the chance and got nominated to be the president of SAC. So,
oh, wow.
which is a great honor, and I really enjoy, you know, trying to, you know, see how I can improve, you know, our athletes' experience at Baylor and you know, keep it growing, you know, since I leave, and just, I mean, Baylor's a fantastic place to be in the first place, but, you know, we're striving for, you know, a lot of success and you know, continually trying to grow. So that's my like biggest goal, is just to continue that kind of growth mindset in athletics.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I feel like it's so cool that, like, yes, you're on kind of like the end of your time here at Baylor, but like you're still wanting to pour back in. I know Sophia and I talked about that on my last episode of just how like you want Baylor to still be good when you're gone. You know, you still want it to be able to like be proud of it and to still pour back in. And so it's really cool. I know that y'all are planning Golden Bruisers right now, right? Which I think that's always so fun. We all get to like dress up and hang out as athletes. But so what else have y'all been working on, or just like things you'd like would typically vote on, or? Yeah,
so the committees are, so we have 6 committees. Golden Bruisers, which is our kind of student athlete end of the year award show. Like you said, it's a really special event for all of us because we get to all dress up and celebrate each other's success individually and as teams. Then we have campus liaison, community service, marketing, health and wellness, and special events.
Okay.
So yeah, they kind of speak for themselves. You know, how can we also, you know, reach out to the Waco community and do things better on that standpoint of things, and you know, bring people in. Like also, you know, campus liaison is like connecting students and student athletes together.
Yeah, that's so good.
You know, how can we get more students attend our games and kind of get the word out there? So yeah, no, it's a really special thing, and you know, I'm lucky that all my committee chair members and everyone on exec board, you know, works really hard and has the kind of same mindset that they want to see Baylor grow, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a really special thing to, like you said, I'm leaving soon, but you know, I want to make this place become even better once my time's up.
That's awesome. So cool. Okay, walk us through the season right now. Still pretty early on, going to hit conference soon, correct?
Yeah, next few weeks, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this season's been a tough one. It's been up and down, both as a team and personally. We've had, you know, a pretty tough schedule this year. It's definitely the toughest schedule I've played in my 4 years here, which is great because you always want to test yourself, you know, against the best competition and see where your level's at. And we've had some really good wins, and no shame in losing to, you know, top teams.
For
and
sure.
You know, we were really close to, you know, flipping some of those matches, and you know, we know where our level's at, and we've got, a lot more to come. Like you said, conference starts in the next few weeks. So that's really the most important part of the season. And then for me personally, it's not been how I wanted to envision my last semester at Baylor. Unfortunately, I got injured, tore one of my ab muscles pretty bad. So that hurt a lot. It's about a 6-7 week recovery time period. But I'm looking to be back in the next kind of 3-4 weeks. So things are going really well with my recovery.
Good.
But yeah, no, it's certainly been tough. Missing multiple weeks out on the court, especially in my last semester.
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal at all. Obviously praying for your recovery. I know that's super painful, not great. But how do you feel like, I mean, you're obviously like a key guy on this team, like team captain. How do you feel like you've still been able to lead and contribute to the team while having to sit on the sidelines? Yeah,
that's a great question. And that's something I, question myself. How can I still lead and be a good example for my teammates, even though I'm not, actively competing or practicing?
Yeah.
And I've spoken to multiple people, coaches and other people in athletics, asking for advice and, sharing my thoughts and feelings during this whole, injury process. And, how can I still pour into my teammates and lead them and be around them? Because it's very easy to kind of get caught up in your own issues and have your head down because you're injured. It's my last semester. There's so many things that, I could get caught up with. But, I kind of I've taken on a little bit of a coaching role or a mentor role. So I'm coming to as many practices as I can with my teammates and giving them advice on court, off court, just trying to be there for them and, make sure they're still seeing me, as part of the team. And, I've actually really enjoyed helping them out on court and coaching. It's something I really enjoy doing. I've just been keeping myself busy with that and then obviously all my recovery and rehab stuff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously being injured is not great, but you do get to kind of take a step back and okay, if I love tennis and this is so awesome, but how can I continue to pour into my team and to make sure we reach those goals? So it's tough, but I think you're so right in wanting to meet with other people, reach out to Baylor, services, coaches, everything, just because it's such a mental game of tennis is kind of taken away from you in some aspects. So now learning how to get those mental reps and just pour back in to your teammates. Would you ever want to go into coaching? Is that is this going to trigger something? Do you know?
Yeah, honestly, I've been thinking about it. Obviously, once I graduate, I'm going to turn pro again.
Okay.
Give it a crack for the next couple years, see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then we'll see how that ends up, and then kind of go from there. But if I'm not where I want to be in the next couple years, then coaching is definitely a thing I'll consider doing. I love college coaching. I think it's so exciting, and I definitely have the type of personality for that. Very energetic, like to get fired up. I guess we'll see. Even if I play for 10 years, I'll still probably maybe want to get into it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, in the back of my head and something I'll definitely consider, in the future.
That's awesome. So exciting. So you were able to train with Andy Murray. That's just insane to me. So have you been able to train with any other guys? How did you train with him? That's just so cool.
Yeah. Well, that was a long time ago now. 7 years ago. I was 16. That happened when I was playing junior Wimbledon.
Okay.
And I was, like I said, 16 at the time. He was obviously playing men's Wimbledon. I was playing juniors. And lucky enough, my coach at the time is one of the GB coaches. So
nice.
It's also very close with Andy. So I had that connection there. And I was just really lucky enough to get the opportunity to practice with him, pre-Wimbledon and during Wimbledon, right up until the final. It was a really cool experience to get to know him on a personal level, and Ivan Lendl, a tennis icon. Kind of when you're a junior playing the Grand Slams, you get the opportunity to practice with a lot of pros because they're often looking for practice partners, and sometimes they can't find any. So the juniors kind of like step in and you know, practice with the top pros, and it's a really cool experience.
That's so cool. Yeah, I feel like I'm like, who have I been able to like be coached by or play with? And I just saw that. I'm like, that's insane. So obviously you're really good at tennis, but you're really good at drums too. Like, is that like, when did you pick that up?
Yeah, I'm decent. I wouldn't say really good. Who knows? Not many people hear me play, but yeah, that's just one of my main hobbies. Love drumming, love playing golf, and love surfing. Those are kind of like my three things that I really enjoy doing away from the tennis court, and just help me relax. And I think I started when I was about, I don't know, 5 or 6.
Oh, wow.
I can't quite remember.
Okay, well, that's cool.
But I was very young, and I've been doing it, ever since. And it's just, like I said, it's my thing that helps me relax, and I forget about all my kind of thoughts and feelings when I'm playing. So everyone has their own kind of pastime that helps them, you know, forget about things, and that's just mine. And I love my music and love playing my drums.
That's so awesome. I think it's so important and so good, like, you have something like that, especially like being injured right now, you know, like the sport and everything you pour into, like, to have something else to be able to like, okay, I can still find like enjoyment and fulfillment in this. So that's really awesome. What's like, do you have like a favorite song? Or I don't even, if I could play an instrument, I would pick drums. So I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah, they are pretty cool. But no, I just play along to like my favorite songs, my favorite bands. And if it's a song I don't really know or don't play along too often, takes me a couple times to listen by ear, and I just learn by listening, and
wow,
there we go. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's so fun. Okay, so whenever I interview somebody, I put questions, or I put up on the forum so people can ask questions. And MortDog1312 asks your toughest opponents and top 3 tennis players of all time.
Toughest opponents in college, or?
Sure.
Oof. I don't know. I mean, outside of college, I've played a lot of good guys. Guys who are in the top 20 in the world in the men's game. College, that's a tough question because we play so many tough games in a season. I would say the one that stands out to me would be when we played the Gators in the NCAA championship final back in 2021.
Okay.
Considering that was in Orlando, in front of a very hostile crowd. We didn't have too many Baylor fans there. We had a few, but we were outnumbered by probably about 1,000.
Wow.
And it was very hostile, and that was definitely the toughest kind of environment I've played in. So I don't know about any others, but that really stands out to me.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah, tennis is just, I've been like watching more and more, and I'm like, it's such a like home court advantage is like such a big deal for tennis. I didn't realize that. But
and then was it three favorite players? Okay, so Andy Murray, Rafael Nadal, and then Leighton Hewitt.
Okay. Just like their style of game or just personality on the court? Because I feel like you already have like a big personality on the court as well.
Yeah, everything really, just like their competitiveness, how they are as people, and I don't really like model my game off of them, but just, you know, how they represent themselves and how they fight and compete is really like inspiring. So that's why they became my favorite players from a young age.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then Scotty B, the Baylor King, asked, I really like this question. If you had to take a teammate's shot and add it to your tennis game, what would it be and why?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Let me think. That's a tough question because I like all of my shots.
Okay, yeah, well, that's good.
I have a very kind of all-round game.
Yeah.
I would take, I think Marco's backhand's pretty good.
Okay.
Very solid backhand. Mine's kind of gone blank right now. I'm trying to think of each guy.
No, that's okay. I mean, y'all's team is stacked, so.
It is, yeah. Let's just go with Marco's backhand.
Okay, yeah. That's awesome. I think it's really fun. Like in practice, a lot of the times, like we'll stand in a circle after and like point out different things about everyone. So I'm like, sometimes I just look at like one of like a DS or something. I'm like, dude, you're just so good. Like I just want to be you as a player. Like, so it's really fun that you get to play with guys that look at their game and analyze it. So cool. And then for our last question, I ask everybody this when they come on. If you could write a letter to sports, what would you say and why?
So I would say, dear sports, thank you for providing me the opportunity to travel the world and meet so many different people and make friends for life.
That's awesome. Finn, thanks so much for coming on
Thank you for
today.
having me. Appreciate it.
Of course. Anytime. Thank you for watching Dear Sports with me, Faith Lynch. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, all the things, and subscribe on YouTube. And our link tree will be in our Instagram bio so you can stay connected with everything Dear Sports. Until next time, this is Faith Lynch with Dear Sports.